What's going on, party people? Party people, good to talk to you. Drew Dickinson here with the latest edition of the 3D. I tell you what, guys, I have been so busy, so much on my plate. I'm not too sure how I'm able to even handle all of it, but I'm here. I'm vibing with you guys this afternoon. And of course, I'm here to talk all things Manchester United. So we're going to dive right into it. Of course, last week, United had their home opener on Friday at home against Fulham. And it was just a typical United matchup. Lots and lots of opportunities, lots of missed opportunities. And to kind of put a bow on the Fulham matchup, Joshua Zirkzee checks in the second half, and I believe it was his 7th touch ever as a Manchester United player, and he puts one in the back of the net to give United the 1-0 victory and the much, much needed 3 points to kick off the season. As far as everyone else playing, I'll just mention a few names. One right off the bat, of course, has got to be none other than Mason Mount. The way that he plays off the ball, in and out of possession is just simply phenomenal. He is an absolute motor, a workhorse. Bruno Fernandes, kind of invisible in the first half, but in the second half was the Bruno that we all love. Ahmad got the start. Didn't really perform like I'm sure he wanted to. Garnacho came in and kind of took over that right wing spot. As far as put a bow on Fulham and get right into tomorrow morning's matchup with Brighton Hove Albion at the Amex. And it's going to be a bloodbath. United and Brighton seem to have an unspoken rivalry where the games are always close, always fun to watch. Brighton coming off a 3-0 victory last week at Everton, so they're going to be looking to build off of that. Of course, Danny Welbeck, still playing in the Premier League. He'll be looking to slot in some goals for the Eagles tomorrow morning. And for United, I expect the same kind of lineup. I don't think Zirkzee is ready to come in and play as the number 9 right now. Obviously, Rasmus is still hurt. So I like Bruno with that false 9 with Mason Mount slotted in right under Bruno, Kobe Mainoo, Casemiro as your holders. And no matter what anyone says, Marcus Rashford still should start on the left, and Garnacho should get his starting spot back on the right in place of Ahmad. But if Ahmad does start, I'm okay with that because everybody has bad games, and Ahmad is allowed to have one himself. So if he gets to start over Garnacho, I'll be okay with that. Mazraoui should start at the right back position, came in and just really took off right at the beginning of the game, and he was subbed out, wasn't quite ready for a full 90. I expect the same from him tomorrow morning. Diogo Dalot ready to go, and lots of discussions. Do you reward Harry Maguire for his performance last week, or do you go ahead and start this partnership with Matthias de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez? I say let's go with de Ligt and Martinez. Let's get this thing going. We got a 25-year-old in de Ligt who's ready to go, or a 31-year-old in Maguire who is being rewarded, because we know there's no future as a starter, at least for Harry Maguire with Manchester United. We've got a little information regarding Scott McTominay, who I would assume will play tomorrow. And we saw him come off the bench in the latter part of the game where he is his best at. And I would assume that that'll be, where we will see him slot in tomorrow as well. There are some, like I said, there's some exciting games between United and Brighton as of late. But I think tomorrow United put a stamp on it and they leave the Amex with a 2-0 victory over Brighton Hove Albion. Those chances that were missed, the created chances that were missed last Friday will find the back of the net with a little bit more ease tomorrow morning, with it being the second game and, the nerves being gone. So I look for United to play the same as they played last week, but finish more of those opportunities and more early on. All right, now, outgoings. Some interesting news this week regarding Scott McTominay, like I mentioned earlier. So we know all summer Fulham have been interested. They submitted a £20 million bid. United holding out for $30 million, which I'm okay with. We're not going to be bent over backwards anymore. We're not going to be forced into a transfer just because, we want to bring somebody in or we want to sell somebody. This Ineos era has really taken off for me. And if they're going to hold steadfast for Fulham for £30 million, all right, I like it. But Xander Berge, who United were interested in, the Burnley central defensive midfielder, now getting interest from Fulham, and Fulham are going to use that money and go after Berge. So it's a weird turn of events to where they've completely gone silent on Scott McTominay, and now they're going in on Xander Berge. What I like about the move now, though, is that it kind of sped up PSG and their lowering price for Manuel Ugarte. More on that in just a second. Still go with the outgoings. Jadon Sancho, he could stay, he could go. United are hoping to get at least £40 million, or they're going to keep him. Not too many suitors, but Juventus has come back into the fold, and talks are ongoing between Manchester United, Jadon Sancho, and Juventus out of Turin, Italy in Serie A. Now, on to incomings. Back to Manuel Ugarte. That deal is all but done. Ugarte is just waiting on his agent, Jorge Mendes, to let him know when to fly to England for his medical. Talks and agreements with United and PSG are just about complete. PSG was able to lower that asking price of 60 back down to the original $50 million bid that United submitted for Ugarte that PSG turned down. So, United fans, it's just a matter of time before Manuel Ugarte comes to United, whether it's a purchase or a loan with an obligation to buy. Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro will be the 1-2 punch as the number 6 for Manchester United this season. And if that Casemiro that showed up last week continues to show up this season with Ugarte for cover, my gosh, it's going to be such a breath of fresh air. Because if one person gets injured, you got a suitable backup waiting in the wind. Now, unsure about the left back position, need a new left back. Lots of talk about, Marcos Alonso, Sergio Reguilon, Ben Chilwell. And today, what I'm excited about, brand new talks out of Fulham. They're interested in signing a new left back, which would put Anthony Robinson, the United States fullback, on the chopping block. He is Fulham's reigning player of the year, so it's kind of strange. But if I'm United, I'll take it, because what a left back Anthony Robinson could be in this Erik ten Hag system. But those are just rumors at the moment. We'll have to wait and see. Transfer window closes in September, so plenty of time. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm just busier than a one-armed paper hanger. But I have enough time to speak to you guys this afternoon and wanted to drop the Drew Dickinson Diatribe this week for everyone on the Soccer Down Here network. So I appreciate you listening wherever you may be. I'm going to try and find some time to knock out a little bit longer episode next week. But I'm just glad to get on here and speak to you guys once and for all for the first time in a couple of weeks. Again, stay tuned. Manchester United taking on Brighton Hove Albion away at the Amex. Kickoff tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope everyone enjoys the game. Enjoy the weekend. And hey, listen, if you're in the Grant Park area this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, come on out to Grant Park, the park, for the Southern Festival, and check out some Deep South Wrestling. All right? Guys, have a great weekend. And we will speak to yous next week. Drewski, out.